This is as a tribute to my client, one Cyrus Jirongo, who died on the highway. What does the law talk about? Driving, causing death, and drunk driving. What does the law talk about the alcohol blue? How does the law deal with drunk driving? Section 45 of Cap 403, it talks about, that is section 44, driving under the influence of a drink. It is prohibited to drive under the influence of a drink. And I want to read it verbatim. Any person who, when driving or attempting to drive, or is in charge of a motor vehicle, on the road or in a public place, under the influence of an alcoholic drink or a drug beyond prescribed limits, shall be guilty of an offense and liable to a fine not exceeding 100,000 or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. Remember, you are allowed to drink very little. A maximum of 2 beers is what is allowed to be on the road. If you're found drunk, you'll get a fine of 100,000 shillings or an imprisonment of 2 years. 2, the law talks of a person convicted of this offense can be disqualified for a period of 12 months from the date of conviction for holding or obtaining a license. If you are found drunk driving and you are convicted, you can be denied to drive for a maximum of 3 years, or you can be denied to renew a driving license. Remember, the government launched the digital driving licenses last week. So as you drive and you are caught driving drunk, the alcohol blue guys, once they get you, boss, your driving license can be cancelled by a competent court of jurisdiction. Section 45, it is even more grievous for a public service vehicle driver to be found drunk or to drive with when he is drunk. Under this section, if he is found guilty, he will be fined a fine not exceeding 100,000 shillings, and he can be barred from driving public service vehicles. That is how Section 45 provides for. Section 46, this is where Jirongo's case is, causing death by driving or obstruction. If you cause death while driving a car, or if you obstruct the road and somebody dies out of that, you will be held liable, and you'll be, once you have been found that, yes, you are liable for your license to be cancelled for 3 years, and you'll be fined a fine not exceeding 100,000 shillings, causing death by driving or by obstruction. It is almost like murder. That is causing death by driving or obstruction. Section 47 talks about reckless driving. So in reckless driving, I want you to understand it, any person who drives a motor vehicle on a road recklessly or at a speed or in a manner which is dangerous to the public, having regard to all including all these things, if is found guilty, he'll be fined a fine not exceeding 100,000 shillings, or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. Recklessly. The boys who drive the bodas, the vehicles, you are swerving all over, that is reckless driving. Your driving license also can be barred for a period of 3 years. You can be chased for 3 years without a driving license. Section 48, it allows the state, if you cause death by reckless or dangerous driving, you'll be arrested and be charged for murder. That is section 48. Mark it very clear. It does not matter that you had an intention to murder anybody. If you kill anybody on the road by driving recklessly, by driving carelessly, then you will be charged for murder. And what is the penalty for murder? You will go in for life imprisonment. So drivers, make sure as you are driving over this Christmas season, avoid careless driving or reckless driving, because you can be charged and be be sentenced to death. So the driver who caused the death of my client, one is Cyrus Jirongo, is likely to be arrested and be charged for the offense of murder. A very serious issue. I have taught you, drivers must be in uniform. Drivers must wear a badge. Did we see that driver in the official PSV badge? Was that driver wearing a uniform? The investigators will look at that, because it is an offense to wear without that one. Then we have also the questions about those people who are moving with the cows on the road. Nairobi, Nakuru Highway, Nakuru, Eldoret Highway, Nairobi, Narok Road. You get Maasais passing with the cows on the road. You walk around Kisii, Kisumu Highway. You get people moving along with cows on the road. Those are offenses. So if you are not careful, whenever you are driving your animals on the road, you have a duty of care. If you cause an accident, the driver of the vehicle will be arrested. Those ones who are passing with the dogs, those ones who are passing with cows, those ones who are passing with the donkeys on the road, if you are convicted, you'll be fined 100 shillings or an imprisonment of 3 months. So avoid obstructing the road by that issue that we have talked about. That. Then there is the issue of section 66, unattended cars. You go, you park a car, you leave it there. It is an offense to leave an unattended car, and if you are found leaving a vehicle that is unattended, then you will find yourself in problem. Section 66 brings what the Chief Justice said last week. Section 766A says any public driver can only be allowed to drive in 24 hours, a maximum of 8 hours. So drivers this time are leaving Nairobi to Kisii, back Kisii to Nairobi, and that is illegal. A driver of a public service vehicle is only allowed to drive within a day, that's 24 hours, a maximum of 8 hours. You, who is also living in Mombasa, you cannot drive your personal car non-stop for more than 8 hours. So this is about our safety. This is about the law. And that is what section 66A will be implied. So the Jirongo death, the driver must assess whether he had been driving for 38, for more than that. The age limit of a public service vehicle driver is above 23 years old. You cannot drive a public service vehicle without having passed that year. Then we have what we say Roadblocks. The law provides under section 69A that the police will mount roadblocks. Then section 71 is closure of roads. Have you ever gone to close a road? The Gen Zs put tires on the road. They bring demonstrations on the road. Get it now very clear. It is an offense under section 71 to close a road, and if you are found having closed a road, having closed a bridge, you will be fined and jailed for that. Then we have lastly the question about how do you ensure that you do not break the law. There are what we call the traffic courts. Mobile traffic courts are provided for under this act. The Chief Justice, the Director of Public Prosecution, and the others have launched a traffic mobile court. You will be arrested, you'll be fined instantly, and you will be charged. We have dealt the trial process in Court Helicopter News. Advocates will be ready to deal with this matter on behalf of Court Helicopter. And as I said, let me take the behalf of the whole crew of Court Helicopter to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And also, behalf of Court Helicopter News, we pass our condolences to those who have lost their lives in this year. Over the road tragedies, there have been many of great importance. We want to remember their families who are mourning during this Christmas time. Avoid carelessness on the road. Avoid recklessness on the road so that the passengers you are carrying and your life are sacrosanct. Wakili Danstan Omari on the end of traffic laws in the Republic of Kenya.